So let's take this opportunity to stop and reflect on what are some of the key marketing trends right now. This is the Friday drop-in at Cambridge Marketing College, and one of the things I've been noticing over recent months, I guess you could call it, is that some of the hot topics that you see in the media, that we see on social, we start talking about in our team meetings and when we're talking to peers, some of these things tend to be rising to the surface, and they are really, really key and pertinent right now. As marketers, we all have a responsibility to look outside of our current sort of day-to-day activities and our day job and all the actions that we're given and all the tasks that we've got, all the targets that we're set, to actually see what's coming so that we can start to use that knowledge in such a way that we can actually create and craft marketing plans and campaigns and events and all the stuff that we do in an appropriate way to maximize all the opportunities that we have. Now, if you're just going to be doing marketing in the same old way, time and time again, you're going to be falling behind. It is a simple fact that the only way to do effective marketing is to stay on top of the trends. So I thought, what better time and place than to have a little bit of a chat about this today. There are a significant number of trends that are happening right now. Some have been around for quite some time and are still there as real opportunities for us. So we've got to get our heads around how we're going to adapt to these things that are presented to us, because you've got a choice. You can ignore all this stuff, or you can actually embrace it. Now, I would obviously strongly recommend, because I'm suggesting this, that you embrace it. And if you do, you will find a host of opportunities will open up in front of you. So first one is about mobility. We still need to be really professionally intimate with every customer, every stakeholder, and they are working in an increasingly mobile sense. In other words, we need to know where they are and what they're doing pretty much every moment of the day, so that we can choreograph our messages, the channels we select, and the timing of our communications in terms of when it's convenient and when it's most appropriate for our customers and all our stakeholders. So if we consider them as mobile, so we actually think about them moving around their day-to-day lives, they might be moving between offices, between venues, between premises, they might be in the car, on the train, on a plane, they could be working from home. Obviously, a number of us are now predominantly working from home, but they've still got a mobile mindset. They're still, not tied to a physical single location. So let's get into their heads and figure out when and where they are going to be most receptive to us, because if we do it on those terms, the chances are they're going to engage better and more effectively with us. So mobility is the first one. Next one I want you to think about is community. This is big and it's getting bigger. The whole concept of community, we know kind of social media, the word in the clue is in the word social media, social networking. But by the word community, what we're talking about here is collaboration. This side of the global sort of crises that we've all come out of and are now seeing the new opportunities within our organizations, it is all going to be based around working with others. So whether or not you're an extrovert or an introvert, it really doesn't matter. You have to embrace community. The most successful solutions and opportunities and things that we are going to add value to in the short to medium to longer term are going to be based around working in collaboration. And the lovely phrase here that I want you to think about is co-creation. What can you co-create with others? So it isn't about, you being given responsibility for something, you just go and get on with it yourself. This is about drawing on the specialist skills, the knowledge, the wisdoms of others around you to actually co-create great stuff. Okay, so think about community in its widest sense, because that is here to really serve you and add value to what you do. Now, I'm going to dot around a little bit here with all the different things. None of these are in a particular order. These are just, from my perspective, the hot topics right now that you really do need to pay attention to. Next one is short form video. And I like this one because we all know that there are massive opportunities to giving little bite-sized chunks of information and content to others. It's very easy to consume. It's very easy to get people to do the call to action. It's doing the behavior, clicking the link, signing up on the dotted line, whatever it happens to be. short form video to stimulate engagement and activity right here, right now is the biggest thing that you can be doing. So think about short form video, short bite-sized chunks of content that can go out in all of the types of communications and media that you use. Short form is the key. You might want to say a load of stuff, but actually your audience only wants to hear little snapshots. We know that their attention is very, very short. So how are you going to deal with that? What are you going to do? Great opportunity now. Things like TikTok, hugely underplayed by businesses in terms of communication. And if you think it's just for the kids, go check out the stats. It isn't. It absolutely isn't. There's something in TikTok, for example, for everyone. And if you're a sort of frequent user of LinkedIn, you will know that LinkedIn short form video is something that stops you on the timeline in your tracks regularly. We know it does it for us, so it will for your stakeholders and the people you need to be influencing. So think about short form video, one of the hot marketing trends right now. Next one is first-party data. We often think of third-party data, the use of cookies and things like that to do remarketing and all of those kind of added value, super well-optimized forms of marketing. But first-party data is on a massive growth curve right now. And that is the kind of data that you can collect, that you can assimilate, and you can actually evaluate from. So this is email addresses, this is customer performance data, this is the time of day when your customer is most likely to be engaging with you. First-party data, data that you hold, obviously with all due diligence, GDPR, and all those kinds of things, taken into account. But what is it you would like to know about your customer? Because right here, right now, this is the currency that's going to fuel the next couple of years of your activity. And as third-party data, cookies, etc., start to get filtered out, and we don't any longer have those as marketers, first-party data is coming back with a vengeance. Probably is the biggest trend over this year. So if you're not paying attention to first-party data, Google it, search it, or let me know, and I can give you a little bit more information about that. Hybrid events. This is an interesting one that's sneaked onto my list. I'm seeing more and more of this. I'm hearing and feeling and experiencing it, and you probably are too. When was the last hybrid event that you attended? And if you didn't, there's an opportunity. When was the last one that you organized for your customers or your business partners or your associates or affiliates? Hybrid events are the future. Loads of research going into this right now, that whilst a lot of us want to get back into the physical room with others, conferences, events, exhibitions, classrooms, and that's all great stuff. But having all of those available on a hybrid basis, so in other words, you have a virtual audience at the same time, so you're actually publishing live as well as actually being there in the room, is the future. This is one that isn't going to go away, and this is my prediction. Hybrid events is going to morph into what we're going to call Metaverse Marketing, and I'll talk about that a little bit in a moment. But hybrid events is the future. So anytime you're doing something in a physical sense, in the real world, think, is this something I could live stream? Is this something I could record? Is this something that I need to capture? Because this is going to add value to a broader audience who might not actually physically be with us in person, but they can be with us in spirit and actually be watching and engaging on screen. Hybrid events is all about actually giving an equivalently valuable experience to somebody who isn't there as to somebody who is actually sat there, directly across the room from you. So this is all about thinking it through. So if you're not thinking hybrid events right now, but you do events, now is the time. You really, really have to do this. It's really super important to get your head around how you're going to do this. Next one on the list, this is a growing one, really, really sort of new topic, NFTs. Non-fungible tokens. Do you have NFTs? Do you have stuff that you could actually have as digital assets that you want to protect right now? If you look up digital NFTs and marketing, you'll see a whole bunch of big players, big brands, big influencers, big personalities, people who are very influential on this planet, and brands who are making great gains and great strides to future-proofing themselves. If you don't know what an NFT is and you haven't figured out yet how some of your marketing, some of the assets that you have, some of the IP that you own as an organization can be used in an NFT sense, now is the time to do that search. deep dive on NFTs and marketing. Loads of new resources coming out all the time. Every single day, there's new stuff. This is an emerging technology that we need to embrace. And this one is a really interesting one because, you know, if you're sat there sort of blankly thinking, hold on, NFT, don't even know what that is, then that's a very, very good benchmark sign or a key performance indicator that you need to be getting out there and understanding what's going on in marketing more broadly than your current role. Very easy to get kind of, you know, locked into what you're doing day to day because you're going to use the word, I'm too busy. We're not. We have to be doing this. This is a key responsibility of a marketer right here, right now, is to understand these emerging opportunities. So NFTs, go research it, go figure out whether or not there's something you could get a competitive advantage with right here, right now. Next one on the list, and I think if you have encountered me at any point in the past or in recent times, you will know that I am super passionate about how we can embrace sustainability and ethics in our marketing. So marketing sustainability, this is a really, really big topic that is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. This has to be in the top 3 for all of us. If it isn't, it is time to wake up to this. It is a commercial opportunity for you if you're thinking, yeah, but I'm too busy kind of making sales and supporting, you know, the business growth. Yes, you are, but this is something that can be a key thread that you talk about. Brands who are trading now on sustainability and ethics are the brands that are growing at the fastest rate. That is a fact, and it applies to every single sector, from manufacturing to financial services to non-profit. So you've got to get in there and play in this game, because otherwise you will be left behind. And that is almost a guarantee as the world moves to becoming more environmentally friendly, more cost conscious, less of a consuming society. We need to figure out where we're going to add value in the future. So if you're beginning to think about plans for the future, sustainability and ethics needs to be right at the heart of this. Loads of resources available to you. And as you know, this is a hot topic of mine. So let me know if you need some help with that one, because I would love to be talking more about it. Next one on my list is an emerging one, not here yet, but this is again another little key performance indicator for how much you are watching the marketing trends. And this one we're going to call Metaverse Marketing. I've coined the hashtag Metaverse Marketing on LinkedIn, so you might see quite a bit of stuff coming out from me on this topic. And it is an emerging topic. Nobody knows how this is going to play out, but I think what a lot of us who've been watching this stuff for some time know is that we are seeing an increasing blend between real world and virtual world. And in time, we are going to see a blending of augmented reality, virtual reality, and this new one, XR. So we know AR and VR, we've heard about that many, many times. But the big new hot topic is XR, extended reality. And that's the one that allows us to become immersed in the metaverse. So actually, if you can imagine, if you're a gamer, you'll know this already because it's coming out of gaming and music as an opportunity. But if you're not, you think of the most graphic, friendly encounter that you've had digitally. If you've been on any kind of augmented reality or virtual reality journey, this is where you, in extended reality, become part of that. So you're not even viewing it on a screen, you are seeing it around you in 360-degree immersive experience. This is metaverse marketing. And how are you as a brand, as an organization, as a business, as a team going to respond to it? Because if this is the next big thing, and you haven't even woken up to the fact that this thing is coming, it's going to hit you like a juggernaut. It's going to hit you like a giant wave, and you're going to be missing the opportunity. So my recommendation is look into it now. So do some searches on metaverse marketing, the opportunity for marketers, and just see what you come up with. Some of it might feel a little bit too futuristic for you right now, but the fact you know it, the fact that it's on your radar will allow you to keep watching and monitoring, because a little bit like digital marketing was back in the day, many, many years ago, it wasn't a thing, and then it became a thing, and then it became everything. There is a very, very strong possibility. In fact, I would suggest even a probability that metaverse marketing will be the next digital marketing. We're already talking about this as being Web3, where the web isn't in the way and the form that it is right now. So embrace it, see if you can find some value even today, because if you're in the right industry, it's already arrived. Next marketing trend is one that is a huge opportunity right here, right now. So it is trending in a positive direction, is the use of audio content within your content strategy. So if you are still in the world of writing text and using video and using imagery, audio should be your next best friend. So if you're producing video, you've already got an audio channel that you can split out, and then you've got a podcast. Audio is amazingly powerful for things like thought leadership, and most brands would like to be known for a particular topic or be identified for something that is a little bit special. So what are you doing about audio right here, right now? If you're thinking it's a bit too complex, a little bit too technical, a little bit too difficult, and you can't figure it out, well, trust me, you can actually have a podcast that goes global that you actually recorded from your iPhone and you actually publish to all of the main distribution hubs, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and others. And you can do that from the power of the phone that's in your hand right now. And it is as simple as that. It literally is pressing record, pressing save, pressing distribute. I kid you, it is no more difficult than that, and you have yourself a podcast. Super easy to do and super engaging. And most target audiences have a subset or a segment who are you listening to podcasts. Just ask your customers, ask your colleagues, ask people around you. Do you listen to podcasts more now than you did, say, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? And I will almost guarantee you that people will say yes, on balance. It's not for everybody, but the vast majority of people are now consuming audio via podcast. Next one is influencers. We know that influencers are big ticket items from a kind of a macro global sense, and it is Dwayne Johnson, it is Kim Kardashian, it is Kylie Jenner, it is all of these people who we know to be the big names. Influencers with a capital I at the start of the word. But what I'm talking about here from a marketing trend is your micro influencer. Who is it in your sector? Who is it in the media who talk about your kind of products and services? Who is it in or around your organization? Who is it who is a very vocal customer? All of these people are micro influencers that can make or break your brand. So it is about embracing them. It's about understanding them. It's about the little nuances of how they talk, where they talk, communities that they're influencing, and what kinds of things are they actually talking about. Understanding the influencers, the micro influencers in your organization, or the ones that are impacting your organization, is absolutely imperative to making sure your content strategy is pointed in the right direction. Because if you can feed these guys, they can be the best advocates you are ever going to have as an organization. So I would say really make sure you embrace that. The other thing, the final thing I just wanted to sort of bring you up to speed with in terms of marketing trends, and it's still here as a trend, has been around for quite some time, but it's starting to really get some impetus here, is the concept of live chat. Now, live chat can often be seen as something that is in place there for customer service. But interestingly, when you think of live chat, you think of it as being very much about being accessible. So when you're thinking live chat from a marketing perspective, yes, it is about supporting customers, but think about the terms of engagement. And this, of course, applies to all of these trends. What are the terms of engagement? Are you providing something like live chat on your terms, or are you trying to do this and hopefully succeeding by doing it on your customers' terms? So live chat, as a simple example, the little pop-up you get at the bottom of the homepage on your website was, do you need some help? Would you like some help today? What can I help you with? And generally it's a bot, but often it is a real live person available there to serve you. So how are you going to then explain what you do? How are you then going to provide answers to the questions that the customer might want to raise? How are you then going to be accessible at 3 in the morning when they just happen to be waking up and thinking of you? And there's a big question. Are you going to be available at 3 in the morning? Because live chat as a concept costs. Okay, so it is about figuring out the return on the investment of it. And this applies to everything we've talked about here. Marketing trends are all about understanding what is going on in the market And one of the key things, and one of the threads really, with bringing live chat into this mix of trends that are hot topics right now, is that it reminds us as marketers that this isn't about us at all. This is all about them, the stakeholders, them, the suppliers, them, the affiliates or partners, them, the customers. So with live chat as a live opportunity for you to get really deeply engaged with your customer, how and on what terms are you going to do that by? So is it on your terms? In other words, we're available for live chat between 9 and 4:30 on a Monday, Tuesday, and a Wednesday. Is that enough? Is that appropriate? If your customer says it is, or if your customer doesn't make contact with you regularly on a Thursday or a Friday, maybe those terms are right. But do the research, dive deeply into your data to find out clearly that you have evidence that you're doing it on your customer's terms. Because if your customer really wants you to be engaging with them on a Tuesday morning at 3 a.m., then that is when you need to be available if you're really going to optimize the experience you're giving to them. And this is what we're talking about here. Monitoring, staying up to date with marketing trends is all about being responsive. It's all about being curious. It's all about listening. It's all about constantly improving what it is you do. So mobility, community, short form video, first party data, hybrid events, NFTs, sustainability and ethics, metaverse marketing, audio, influencers, AR, VR, XR, and live chat. Just the topics that I've identified. You may have others that you're seeing in your sector or in your particular organization. So keep monitoring them, keep watching them, because unless we stay awake as marketers, we're going to be way behind the curve because this stuff moves quickly. Good luck, keep watching, and I'll keep you updated if I spot any other things that move in this regard.